April 21st, 2025. Just before dawn, the skyline of SA, normally quiet in the early hours, is suddenly split by the roar of afterburners. No warning, no chatter, just the unmistakable sound of U.S. fighter jets slicing across the dark sky, and then impact bright flashes, low rumbles echoing off the mountains, shockwaves rolling through the capital. For a few brief minutes, the entire city holds its breath. This wasn't a strike on a weapons depot tucked away in a desert. This was downtown, the Houthi stronghold, their capital, their nerve center, and it just got hit. But this wasn't just about destruction. This was message delivery at Mach speed for weeks. The Houthis had escalated, threatening shipping lanes, launching drones, testing the limits of U.S. patience. They thought the line wouldn't move, that Washington wouldn't dare hit this deep. They were wrong. What happened over Sun wasn't a warning shot. It was precision warfare, coordinated, deliberate, and executed by elite U.S. pilots flying some of the most advanced aircraft on Earth. And while the media scrambled for details and officials remained tight-lipped, one thing was clear. This strike had a purpose. It didn't just shake the ground, it shook the rules, because hitting a target in the heart of enemy territory at the center of their command infrastructure isn't routine. It's bold. It's calculated, and it means something bigger is in motion. So what was the real target that night? How did the U.S. pull it off without warning? And what happened next that no one expected? What followed those first flashes over Sana'a wasn't chaos, it was choreography. This wasn't a random airstrike or a retaliatory gesture for a single drone launch. It was something else entirely. A message, delivered in the language of precision munitions and supersonic aircraft. The jets screaming across the skyline weren't just on patrol, they were there for one reason: a high-priority strike deep in hostile territory. U.S. defense officials would later confirm it: a coordinated, deliberate hit on what they termed a Houthi military facility in the capital. No further detail, no target list, but the satellite imagery told the rest of the story. Tucked within a dense urban block stood a structure once used as a media center, later reappropriated by Houthi Command. That building no longer exists. Infrared satellite scans revealed abnormal thermal spikes in the hours leading up to the strike, possibly signaling encrypted data transfers, leadership meetings, or coordination activity. Whatever was happening inside, it caught the eye of U.S. surveillance, and once it was verified, it was marked. The strike hit just before sunrise, a calculated window when command centers are fully staffed, but low light offers minimal ground visibility. To ISR satellites and high-altitude aircraft, though, it was crystal clear. The platform, likely an F-15 Strike Eagle or carrier-launched FA-18 Super Hornet, both equipped with JDAMs, GPS-guided ordnance built for precision in urban environments. Eyewitnesses described the roar of engines, a sudden impact, then silence. No sirens, no counterfire, just the impact and its echo. Within minutes, images began to surface, but from Houthi Command. Silence. No retaliatory claims, no warnings, no posturing. The lack of response spoke louder than any press release. U.S. Central Command said little. A short statement confirmed the strike was meant to disrupt hostile activity and deter future threats to international shipping. But beneath the surface, this was about far more than a single drone. It was a calculated decision to hit the heart of Houthi coordination, because Sana'a isn't just a city, it's a symbol. It houses the command, communications, and coordination centers that keep the Houthi war machine running. Hitting it requires confidence, intelligence, and intent. A red line few have dared to cross. So why now? Analysts suggest this strike wasn't based on one act, but a pattern. Encrypted transmissions, increased vehicle movement, surging power demands within key urban blocks. SIGINT teams intercepted chatter linking Sana'a to known Houthi launch zones near the Red Sea. The U.S. wasn't just looking for where drones launched, they traced where they were being coordinated. What they found was a central command hub, possibly connected to real-time surveillance of U.S. and allied naval assets. That changed the calculus. Long before the bombs dropped, the operation was already in motion. Global Hawk and MQ-9 Reaper drones monitored from high altitudes. Satellites traced movement rhythms, heat signatures, power fluctuations. The capital was dissected, mapped, and modeled. This wasn't a decision taken lightly. Sana'a is a densely populated city. Striking it required absolute certainty, and that certainty came in waves. Repeated intelligence confirmed a surge of encrypted activity between 0000 and 0400 local time, the same window in which most Houthi drone launches had occurred in past attacks. Vehicles cycled in and out. Cell towers spiked. Power grids fluctuated. It was a fingerprint. Once confirmed, the strike team assembled. Flight paths, ordnance loads, tanker support, AWACS coverage, everything was synchronized. And then it happened. Fighter jets, not drones, live pilots, real-time execution, the kind of mission reserved for the highest value targets, not just to eliminate a facility, but to sever a network before it could act. In modern warfare, the most powerful move isn't always the loudest. Sometimes it's the one that starts long before the world even knows it's happening. The strike also had broader implications. Timing is everything. The Houthis had been escalating. UAV swarms, anti-ship missiles, near-daily intercepts. Intelligence suggested a larger, multi-domain strike was imminent, possibly coordinated, possibly Iranian-assisted. That shifted the playing field. Striking the capital wasn't symbolic, it was surgical. It targeted the brain, not the fists. It wasn't designed to destroy everything. It was designed to interrupt, to create uncertainty, to stall momentum. And if Iranian hands were involved, and evidence suggested they were, the strike delivered another message. We see you, and we won't wait. Choosing manned fighters over drones reinforced that message. It said, we're not hesitating, we're confident, we're willing to go deep. In the hours after the strike, that confidence paid off. Command centers in Sana'a went dark, chatter disappeared, drone activity halted. Movement from known Houthi-controlled areas dropped dramatically. Surveillance aircraft registered reduced radio signals and visual traffic. The entire operational tempo shifted, and yet there was no follow-up strike. No second wave. That was intentional. The U.S. made its point in one move: minimum force, maximum effect. Meanwhile, U.S. air presence in the region surged. Carrier-based F-18 maintained a visible patrol. AWACS and refueling aircraft extended loiter times, providing round-the-clock overwatch across critical airspace. But from the Houthis, still no response. No counterfire, no propaganda videos, no bold claims. Just silence. The kind of silence that reveals disruption, not restraint. Because this was never about annihilation, it was about disruption, about forcing recalibration. Before the strike, the Houthis operated on a tight loop: launch, relocate, rearm. Afterward, that cycle broke. Timetables slipped. Command hesitated. And in war, hesitation can be lethal. Even regional patterns shifted. Commercial shipping through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait resumed with greater confidence. U.S. and coalition ships reported reduced interference. The signal interference that had once been constant, gone. And perhaps most telling of all, in the online propaganda spaces usually lit up with bravado after confrontations, silence. That silence said it all. Because in this phase of modern conflict, the goal isn't just to destroy, it's to stop, to interrupt, to reshape behavior. One precision strike, one single message, no need for follow-up. The U.S. wasn't reacting, it was resetting the board. The explosion in Sana'a may have leveled a block, but its shockwaves reached far beyond, into command rooms, foreign ministries, and intelligence circles across the Middle East. This wasn't just about disrupting a drone launch, it was about making a statement. And that message landed squarely in Tehran. For months, Iran had quietly funneled advanced tech, drones, communications gear, targeting data to the Houthis, not just to aid a local fight, but to project power across the Red Sea and threaten global shipping. By targeting a suspected coordination hub in Yemen's capital, the U.S. didn't just hit a Houthi asset, it struck at Iran's broader strategy. And it did so in the open. No secrecy, No ambiguity. This wasn't a covert hit. It was a bold flyover visible to satellites, journalists, and rival intelligence networks. The message, we see you, and we can strike anytime. For Gulf allies, it was assurance. For adversaries, it was a reminder. Despite distractions elsewhere, the U.S. still holds range, speed, and resolve. The strike also came at a time when trade routes are fragile and the Red Sea is tense. Houthi missiles and drones have already targeted commercial vessels. So this wasn't just about defense, it was about safeguarding global trade and credibility. The target mattered. Sana'a wasn't hit because it was easy. It was central to Houthi operations, Iranian influence, and the idea that proxy forces can act without risk. Not anymore, and others were watching. In Moscow, Damascus, and Beijing, this kind of precision strike sends a clear signal. The U.S. is willing to act decisively, without fanfare, buildup, or negotiation. Because sometimes quiet action carries the loudest message. With the dust still settling in Sana'a, the question now is, what's next? U.S. naval forces remain active. Carrier groups continue patrolling choke points like Bab el-Mandeb. A-10s have been rotated into regional bases, likely as a warning or to prep for escalation. Analysts are watching for signs of Houthi regrouping. Historically, they adapt, shifting underground, relocating leadership, or operating through intermediaries. The real test, whether the strike disrupted their rhythm or simply moved it. Attention also shifts to Iran. If Tehran sees this as provocation rather than a warning, it may respond through proxies, from Iraq to the Gulf. That's why U.S. radar isn't just watching Yemen, it's scanning Syria, Iraq, and the Strait of Hormuz. When you hit the center, sometimes the edges move first. Diplomatically, expect silence. No grandstanding, just results. Quiet, strategic adjustments that shape outcomes. To military planners, this marks a turning point. A faster tempo, a deeper reach, and a willingness to act early. Because what started as a silent strike over a sleeping capital might now redefine the conflict's course. This wasn't just retaliation, it was intent, delivered fast and clean. And when power like that is used without warning or follow-up, it isn't just a strike, it's a signal. We're not waiting. We're already moving. So what happens now? Will the Houthis respond? Will Iran escalate? Or are we entering a new phase, where silence from above means something's already in motion? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. And if you want to go one step further, join the fleet. Get loyalty badges, priority replies, and help us surface more real-world naval stories. Hit join on our channel page and come aboard. Until next time, stay sharp, stay aware, and keep watching the skies.